Okay, onboarding. Onboarding is rolling out the welcome mat, isn't it? We all do it, and really interestingly, over the last couple of months, I've actually joined three different associations in New Zealand. One was a business association, one was a community association, and one was a tech association. I'm not going to mention any names or anything like that, but they all did a very poor job. So one of the reasons why I said we probably need to actually have a discussion about onboarding because it's really, really important. Okay, because it is sometimes your first touch point for your new member. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to have a structured plan from day one, introducing new members. Okay, we may need to get them feel valued, feel benefits, engaged early, all that sort of stuff. Okay. Um, the strategies we're going to cover here, yes, you might have an association management system or a CRM system that's all automated. That's great. If you haven't, we're going to cover that as well. So there's both ways you can do that. Okay. Also, all the recordings also and all the notes and everything are going to be shared after the thing as well. Okay, so you'll be able to go back and have a look at the videos, check out the presentations and any other documents that the people share as well, just to let you know. Okay. Um, as we all know, first impressions counts. Um, the issue that you've got is that when you're looking actually at your retention statistics, it actually says that you are going to lose 30% of your new members every single year. Comparison to you might only lose between 10 and 6% or 4% of your traditional members. So think about it like that. We need to engage them better. Churn is costly, obviously. Lack of engagement's the number one priority. So you really need to get it right. Okay. Um, if you're looking at automotive, okay, it's really easy. You just go into your system, you have a nice welcome email, you tick the box, and it's going to be sent either when they pay their bill or 3 days' time, whatever you set it up for. Okay. Really, really easy. It's great. You've also got things like event reminders coming through, all the reminders. It's great. And you think that's an amazing job done. Okay. And that's what technology should do. Who's actually in the room's got actually uses technology for that? Anybody? One? Yep. Three, four. Cool. Yep. Probably about half. If you haven't got an AMS system and you do it manually, and you can do a hybrid model as well, you're going to use personal staff, aren't you? You're going to use emails. You're going to pick up the phone. You're going to use simple tools like a calendar on your spreadsheet. You're going to make a note of them, who they are, send the stuff out and go from there. It requires a lot more hands-on effort, but it can be just as effective as a well as an automated system. Okay. I I'm actually heading towards going off the computer thing and actually doing it manually because I actually think it's actually better, and I'll explain it why in a minute. Um, Regardless of the method, what you need to do is you need a plan. Okay. And it's not just that first email that's actually going to connect people, it's actually other stuff. So when you look at it, what you need to do is you need to map out your journey really, your new member journey really, really well. So what we're going to look at now is before onboarding, from day 1 to 2 weeks, which is a welcome and orientation. Basically 1 month to 3 month, which is engagement and integration. 3 months to nine, involving um, ongoing involvement, and then renewal and recruitment. So when you're looking at preparing stuff, you really got to sit down with your team and say, hey, look, what does it look like? What do the welcome materials look like? What does a streamlined process look like? Who's actually tried to join your own association? How easy is it? Think about it as a new member trying to fumble their way through your actual or navigate through your actual website. Is it easy for them? Does it go to a job form that we only check once every 2 weeks because we hardly get anyone joining us? Does it go somewhere else? Think about things like that. Join your own association. Okay. So when they have joined you, okay, what does it look like? It's got to be warm. It's got to be welcoming. Wouldn't you agree?
Mhm.
So maybe a welcome letter needs to, and this is just a standard thing, and obviously every association is different. You need to use the first person's name. It's just not dear member. You got to get it right. And try and get their, if their name is Rebecca, but they call themselves Bex, what are you going to do? You're going to call them Bex. So dear Bex or Kiora. Okay. Um, you can have a warm welcome. Welcome to your association. Welcome to our association, depending on what it looks like. Then what you're going to do is you're going to put your value propositions, your strong value propositions on why they've actually joined you or the reasons why they can engage with you. Clearly state you're here for networking and knowledge. You're here for connections. This is just an example. You're here for resources. Have a link to those to your website so they know what they're doing. If they're first joining and they need to log in, obviously there's something there as well that you need to put in there. Obviously, encouragement, invite them, and this is what I'm saying, invite them to explore events, dashboard, all that sort of stuff, and then close it off nicely. Okay, don't, as I said before, don't do dear member because it just doesn't work. Okay, don't overwhelm them with detail. You know, this isn't about the history of your association or anything like that, because really, or the politics or what's gone on before, or about your constitution and that sort of stuff. It's just a warm, nice welcome. Okay. One association I joined a few years ago, they decided to send me all their old newsletters. So I got a welcome pack of about 3 inches thick of their magazines that obviously had lying around their office that they just threw into a box and thought, yeah, let's just send it to the new members. You know what? It just went in the rubbish. Um, don't oversell. Okay. Which is always important. It's not a sales pitch. They've already joined you. What you want them to do is get them to engage. And I think the bottom one's most important as well, which is f don't make it about me. Okay, make it about them. Make it about what they can get from you, not the other way around. Now, I hate to say it, but corporates are beating us at our own game in this. They're really doing a really, really good job. And I'm going to play you a video at the moment, so and I hope it works. The other day I joined MailChimp. Who uses MailChimp? Anyone? Really interesting, isn't it, when you join them? Within 15 minutes, there was someone from America on the phone to you going, hey, we want to look after you. How can we do it? Let's book a call for you. All this sort of stuff. Really impressive. It, at the moment, it's getting very much like spam because they're contacting me every single day. But you know what? It makes me feel welcome. So because they suddenly realize that, they really want to engage me in their products and services. Corporates are doing it better than us. Have a look at this one here. Can everyone
Hey
hear
there,
that?
Brett. Just sending a quick loom here to say thanks for connecting. I've been doing that recently with all my new connections, where I just send a quick loom and say thank you for connecting. It's kind of my way of combating all the bots and AI generated messages and that kind of stuff out there, where I just personally show my face and say hi, and of course introduce myself. I am Cameron. I run a company called Cantata, where we build modern WordPress-based websites that are specifically for associations. So obviously, right there in that same space, and so which is obviously why I wanted to connect. But my content on here is going to reflect what I do, association tech, member engagement, and just kind of smarter ways to run your organization online and that kind of thing. So hopefully you can find some value there, and I just look forward to keeping up with all you're doing over there and your content, and just kind of staying in touch. Appreciate it, Brett. Have a great day.
Are corporates beating us at our own game? That's pretty impressive. Look what's behind it. It's my LinkedIn profile. Okay, so he's obviously caring about me. Yes, he's using a product called Loom, and I'm not here to sell Loom, but Loom is actually quite a good product. But you can do it on Zoom just as good with your advanced tabs and all that, which I was playing around with this morning. But that's pretty impressive. So we've had a good conversation, and I'd like to think I can actually get this guy actually out to our next conference. So you think about it like that, you know? How are we doing? We just send out our automated email, don't we? Or we pick up the phone or do whatever. So corporates are beating us at our own game, which is really, really scary. As I said, I joined three associations in New Zealand and they've done a really piss poor job. And if I was probably honest, do I do a really good job? No, average. And I think we're all probably maybe just the same. Um, so as I say, you need to personalize your communications. Use the member's name. I think that's the top tip. But I think it goes further than that because then you go, hey, this is really good. We've done our first 30 days or whatever you want to call it, the first couple of weeks, 24 hours, whatever, and then we forget about them. So what are we going to do next? So what happens between day 15 and day 30 or 3 months? Don't let silence set in. If if the only contact that they get is a generic email from you 24 hours after pressing play, after paying their invoice or whatever, is that really engagement? Is that really onboarding? Statistics say that after the first 90 days is when your new member will decide whether your association is worth it or not. So you can do all that effort and you can lose them in 90 days. So start thinking about what can you do in that particular time to get your member engaged. And there's things that you can do. And here's just some examples because it's easy for me just to say, yeah, you have to do something. Okay. Things like a personal note. Here's one resources that most of our new members find useful. Invite them to the next event. If it's just a small event, if you're just doing a small event and it costs $25 or whatever it is, invite it to them for free. Does it really matter? You want to get them engaged. um, you know, a link for if you've got an online community platform, send them the link. Send them a member story. I don't want to share Donna's thunder, but you do the every month you do a new member meetup on a Friday afternoon. What a great
Hmm.
idea. Um,
Thank you.
develop something
Mm.
like a quick 5 ways to get the most out of your membership, or even a note from the chair. Yeah. Really important because we want to get these people engaged. We don't want to lose them after year one because remember you're gonna lose 30% of your new members after year one. So you've got to be really involved. So then what happens between month 3 and month 9? You want to keep them going, don't you? You want to start getting personal. The goal is to think, I belong here. This is my association. The reason why I'm here is because I'm with like-minded people. Really hugely important. Okay. Um, and how do you do that? It's not stalking them because I think that's really wrong. It's more of, hey, we're here to help you. What can we do to help you? How are you feeling about our association? That's really what it's about. Okay. Um, Once again, here's some ideas. Thank them for joining again. Hey, look, it's been 6 months. How you going? How's it going for your association? What else can we do? Did you know we have a mentoring thing? Did you know we actually do an annual survey for X, or we've got our conference coming up? How would you like to come along? Because we have some really a new member platform that we want to show you or something like that. Confirm whether they are receiving newsletters, but don't let silence set in. I think that's the most important thing. And 9 to 12 months, renew and recommit. You're going to start sending them hey, you want to join us again, aren't you? What does that look like? Okay. And one of the other learning circles is about um, um, renewals and all that sort of stuff. So I don't want to steal the thunder there. But the renewal notice for expiry, you tend to send it out 90, 30, 60 days out, whatever it is, recap the benefits. What's new for year two for you? So if it's a new member, not just your standard, here it is sort of thing. And that's really about it. Short and sweet. There is no real sort of right way of doing it or wrong way of doing it. I wish there was this big template. There's a QR code there that is actually a link, and it's obviously on our website too. And I'll share it when I share the video and all that. But that's just a high level thing of every single thing that I've spoken about, so you can get some ideas and all that sort of thing. But I think the three takeaways that I want everyone to look at is, map the journey, really plan it out. What are you going to do? What does it look like from day one to day 365? XXX and that sort of, whether it's manual or whether it's actually automatic, you just got to get there and do it. Personalize the communications. And obviously the goal is to think that they belong here, because the first 90 days is when they decide whether it's worth it or not. Someone said to me a little while ago is that, what you want to do is when you do your renewals, is that when your invoice gets on their desk, you want them to pay it straight away, and you want them to pay it straight away, not just to say, oh, I'll get around to that later on. That's the most important thing. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the